3 papers, and each paper we will have 12 minutes for the presentation and 3 minutes for the Q&A session. Okay, so and the first paper, the title is "Do Social Media Activities Enhance the Firm Value?" And I'm Jiajin Chen from Stockton University School of Business, and this is the work co-author with my co-authors, Professor Xu and Professor Li. So I will be the first presenter. I will introduce the background, and I will introduce the background of this project, and then my co-author, Professor Li, he is also from the Stockton University. He will continue the discussion. He will present the empirical results for this project. Okay, so regarding our project, the objective for our project is to examine the effect of disclosing social media activities on the firm equity value by using a broad sample of the industry firms. So this is the objective of our study. Okay, so to make sure we are on the same page, so let me first introduce what is the social media. Basically, social media is a group of internet-based applications that allow the creation and the exchange of the user-generated content. So that's why for firms, actually, the social media is also referred to as the customer-generated media. Okay, so as we know, the popular social media platforms or the social media applications include the Facebook, okay, Twitter, or LinkedIn, or other like the online community applications. So the social media is different from the traditional media, such as the newspaper, magazines, and the television. The reason is that the social media application, there are much more human beings. Like the authors, they can post their opinion on the blogs, and in the meantime, the readers, they can also reflect their opinion, their perspective on the blogs by free. So that's why it's more human being kind of. Like in the meantime, the social media provide the firms a mechanism to interact with the customers. And also for the social media, it provides customers a mechanism to communicate and share the experience with the other customers. Okay, so that's why the firms started to adapt the social media very quickly based on a 2010 study. And among the Fortune 500 companies, at least like about 56% of the firms, they already have a corporate profile on Facebook, and the 60% of the firms, they have a Twitter account. Okay, so like this is the background of the social media. And regarding the academia, the related literature such as the Kim et al. 2015 paper, they study the firms in the restaurant industry. The reason is that the social media can be used very frequently as the advertisement and the promotion in the restaurant industry. So what the study finds is that by using the social media, actually, social media activities have a positive and a linear relationship with the firm value, okay, after we control the firm other characteristics. Okay, so for our study, we want to study whether there is a significant relationship between a firm's disclosure of its social media initiatives in its annual report on the firm market value, on the firm's equity value. Okay, so the reason why we have our hypothesis is that the first, we think the social media actually provide a very efficient communication between the firms and its customers. In the meantime, the social media provide a very efficient communication between the customers, among the customers themselves. So for the firms, from their perspective, the firms benefit from the social media. First, from promoting their services and products to its customers. Second, they can collect the feedback from the social media to improve the product quality or improve the product design. Third, they can also provide better customer support to the customers by using the social media. So that's why we think disclosing the social media activities on the financial statements actually provide a signal to the outside investors, as well as the analysis that the firms are actually actively engaging in the social media activities. And in the meantime, the social media can increase the information transparency between the insider managers with the outsider investors, and also reduce the information asymmetry between the managers and the outsider investors. Okay, so this is the basic argument to support our hypothesis. So what we do in our study is that we use the period of the 2008 to 2010. The reason is that during that 3 years, the firms start to adapt the social media. It's a very popular period for firms to adapt the social media. And what we do, we use the 26 keywords, the social media related keywords. We read each firm's annual reports. Actually, this is what my co-authors, they did. They read each firm's annual report by using these keywords and identify each sample. Okay, so later on I will show you some example. So what we get is like we have 594 firms from year observation which disclose the social media activity in their annual report. And the controlling group is we have 9,232 non-disclosing from year observation. So we get the stock price from the CRISP and the accounting variables from the CompuState database. Okay, so this is a summary of the keywords we use in our search for the samples. Okay, so I will show you some examples. So for example, how we identify the keyword on the financial statement, on the annual report. So for example, the Hyatt hotels. Okay, so it's a very reputed hotel. So the Hyatt hotel noted in its 2009 annual report that we recently turned our focus to innovation in the area of guest communications. In May 2009, we launched Hyatt Concierge, making us the first hospitality company in the world to deploy a designed website on Twitter, okay, thereby enhancing the quality of hotel guest services. So Twitter is the keyword we use to identify our sample. So this is like how we include one firm year observation. So that's why totally we have 594 disclosing firm year observation, and this is one example. And another example can be like the UDR. It is a real estate investment trust company. For this company, it acquires, renovates, develops, and manages apartment communities. So they rent the apartment to the customers, okay, nationwide. In its 2008 annual report, they noticed that we launched the first iPhone apartment search website and established a social media website presence in MySpace.com. Actually, in 2008, MySpace is still very popular, but not at this moment, okay. Okay, so this is about our samples. So the empirical study methodology is that we follow the model of the 1995. We perform the panel regression analysis by using the stock price, second, the market adjusted returns, the market to book value, then on the disclosure variable and the other accounting control variables. Okay, so this is the background of our study, and my co-author will present the empirical results.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, so because we only have the 3-year data, so we run the panel regression analysis with this dependent variables. First of all, I'll just show you the descriptive statistics of the key variables. Okay, in terms of the market value of equity, okay, disclosing firms on average have higher market value of equity compared to disclosing firms. Okay, but on average, in terms of the assets, okay, disclosing firms on average is about the $17.2 billion. Okay, versus $13.8 billion of the assets. Okay, for disclosing firms. Okay. The book value of equity size is similar But these closing firms have more shares outstanding, so consequently their earnings per share on average is slightly lower, 66 cents versus 94 cents per share. Okay. In terms of the price, stock price, okay, 90 days following the fiscal year ended in December, so that's first quarter share price, okay, in the following year, $22.5 versus $19.5 for the closing fund and this closing fund, okay, versus this closing fund. On average, these closing funds perform better. Okay, their annual return is about 37% versus 24.8% for the non-disclosing firms. Okay. So we run the panel regressions, okay, with a fixed effect and a random effect. Okay. So this closure dummy variable is a dummy variable. Okay, one for the closing firms. Okay, and 0 is for non-disclosing firms. Okay. So the panel regression with a fixed effect, this closing dummy variable is significant. Okay, so which means that this closing firms, once they disclose the social media activities, okay, have a positive impact on the share price. Okay, and we control the other variables. Okay, such as book value of equity weighted by the shares outstanding, and also with a dummy variable for the negative earnings per share. Okay, and also putting another control variable of the size of the firm. Okay, log of the assets. Okay, all right. So on average, okay, you can see that the firms, okay, with a positive, with higher book value of equity, have high positive impact on its share price. Okay, those who are doing better, okay, should have a positive impact on the share price. Okay, so you see this negative dummy is a negative dummy variable for the earnings per share with a negative sign. Okay, and firms with larger size tend to do better. Okay, tend to perform better. Okay, we see similar results for the random effects. Okay, this closure dummy variable also has a positive impact. Okay, all right, and the size for the other variables are the same. Okay, except the lack of assets. Okay, which is not significant. But we also run the other models with a market-adjusted return, which is the difference between the return and the crisp market value weighted return. Somehow this closure dummy variable is not significant. Okay, and we also run another regression model with the the market to book ratio. Okay, and the result for the coefficient of the disclosure dummy is weakly significant at the 10% level. Okay, and those who are the firms that are doing well tend to have a positive impact on its market to book ratio. Okay, and we also put in another variable, the capital expenditure variable. Companies that spend more resources on the social media platform, okay, tend to have a higher valuation. Okay. All right, so reach to the conclusion here. So a firm's disclosure of social media activities have a positive impact on its share price and market book ratio. So the results imply that a firm should engage in social media activities to gain a competitive advantage. So shareholders will benefit from the firms that are engaging in social media activities. Okay, all right. All right.
So, any question? I guess we just have 1 minute for the Q&A for the question. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's the yeah.
Yes.
Sorry.
The question, and thank you for the presentation. The question that I have is the distinction between the various industries that firms are involved in. I would understand, for example, companies that are involved in direct consumer contact, automobile and hotel industries, and food, fast food industry, for example. But financial concerns for large investment companies, manufacturing companies, do your conclusions hold true? Let's say it's a manufacturing company that's making not cars, but making generators that are then used by other manufacturing companies, for example. Is there a distinction in terms of your findings?
In our study, actually, we include all the industry firms, but we in our empirical study, we give like the firm specific. We use the panel regression, so we have the firm-specific characteristic control. But
actually, we control the firm's industry factor. Okay, industry factor by SIC code, but the SIC code by control the SIC code by industries does not really affect at all. Okay, does not really capture the marginal impact. And there's one table that Professor Chen just skipped. The sample firms, okay, about 50% of the sample firms are service companies. Okay, so which means that service firms care more about the interactions with customers. Okay, yeah, that's a very good question. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we can probably think about to divide our sample into different industry to see whether they have like the industry differences among these groups. Thank you. And sorry about yes.
Another question.
Another question. Yeah, we can.
My question is, okay, you analyze positive externalities, and so it's benefit for the firm. What about negative externalities? Okay, when the firm is on the defensive side, okay, and they have to really struggle to have their positive image. Okay, and you have encountered any
No, yeah, we'll definitely consider this suggestion. We'll look into this this factor, this issue in our further analysis.
For example, like Facebook, right? All of a sudden, like the stock prices was slammed, and the firm is very defensive. So at times can be very destructive for the firms as well.
Yes,
yeah.
possible. Yes, yes, yeah.
Probably the positive outweighs the negative, and that's my assumption. But we have to have cases where it's very bad for a company. Once you start holding negative views, it's terrible. Right?
Yes, that's a good suggestion. Okay, definitely we'll consider all this your comments. Okay, all right,
Yeah.
thank you.
We will also need to put this one in our like the basic arguments, like whether like hypothesis not necessary to be the positive, but could also be the negative. But based on our empirical results, looks like the benefit outweighs the cost during that period. Yes. Thank you.
Just as a matter of curiosity, that I exposed my lack of knowledge of social media. I thought MySpace was closed. MySpace.
Yes,
MySpace,
it was very
yes.
popular. Yeah.
MySpace, yeah.
Isn't it closed?
I think my
Outdated. I think it's still
they,
alive, but
yeah,
not so
it was
many
acquired.
users.
It was acquired. It was very successful, so that's why it was acquired at that moment. Yeah.
Yes.
So I think, what do you call it? Facebook info about MySpace.
Who is the acquirer? I will need to search who is the acquirer. But I know it was a merger.
All right, so let's move to the next.
Okay. Okay.
All right, thank you, thank you.
When I watch outside, you see you need to specify your acceptance criteria. I needed to see specifically, I think that's from the statistics, the acceptance of your null and your alternate, or rejection of your alternate, whether it's in line with the criteria, although it was not specified, but we have the standard criteria to accept or reject the statistics.
You know, which table you're looking at?
That's from the can you?
Oh, F statistics.
You were saying it's significant, but
Yeah, this one here. Sorry, I skipped this. This is to check whether fixed effect is a more efficient model. Okay, so you are testing whether the intercept terms for each individual firm is significant different from the average of the sample intercept. Okay, so if this is a statistics is significant, which means that the fixed effect is an appropriate model compared to the poor ordinary regression model. Okay.
so how do you link it with your random effect?
Actually, a random effect, you have to, I didn't present another table, that's Hausman's test, okay? So, yeah, actually we ran that statistics as well. So, the Hausman statistics is significant, okay, at 1% level. So, which means that the random effect is also necessary as a supplemental analysis. Okay.
Be sure that your data is fit for empirical use.
Yes, that's right. All right. Yeah, sorry, I didn't present that table. Okay, because of the time constraint. Yes.
Thank you so much for the presentation. I was quite attracted to the topic, but I have a little issue with your scope. You looked at 2008 to 2010.
Yeah, only 3-year period.
And this is
Okay.
2019. So I
Yeah,
don't
that's
think
right.
Your results are still valid as of today. Because this is quite a trending topic. So I'm talking about social media. And that is what is, really
Yes.
on now.
Yeah, that
So
your
I
argument
don't know
holds true.
justification for
Uh-huh.
that scope.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it's very time-consuming reading all the annual reports to identify the keywords. Yeah, actually, yeah, this is a good suggestion. We should extend the sample period. Yes, thank you. I think you should move forward.
Okay, so thank you. I think we are running a little bit out of time. So our next presenter will be Professor Nicholas Antonides. He is from the College of Staten Island. Okay, his paper is Reducing Cost of Living, Paths to Popularity, Leadership, Loyalty, and Reputation.